Okay, so I'm here with the weather team as we talk about what a weather impact alert is. All right, so there's a lot to unpack here with this. First of all, it's really not any different than anything we do now. I mean, you know, we look ahead on the 7-day and we start thinking about here's a day we're watching for the potential for some sort of impact, which is where we got the name weather impact, by the way. So you hear all the time about these level 1s, 2s, 3s, and maybe that's out there on one day, maybe not. So what we did is we just tried to put it on, you know, put a name on it, and then put that out there on a graphic on a 7-day or whatever that says, this is a day that we're watching for the potential for something, and it could be a wide range of things. One thing I do want to point out is this is not an alert in the sense of what you would think of as like a warning. The National Weather Service, they're the only folks that can issue watches, warnings, alerts, things like that. So in the sense of an alert here, it's just like, hey, pay attention to this day because we're paying attention to it, and we may end up, as we'll talk about, walking it back. I mean, there may be something 3 or 4 days out. This is something we're keeping an eye on, but things have changed. It's not looking that bad. We're going to cancel it. Or maybe we stick with it, you know. So, and they're different topics. Some of us have been talking about some of those different topics.
With weather, it's ever changing. The atmosphere is always changing. It's one of the hardest things to predict in nature, really, that we do have. Mm-hmm. So we see outlooks by the SPC. We've seen it as recently as a couple months ago where they'll issue a level 3 about 3 days out ahead of time, but then they'll backtrack it to a level 1. Mm-hmm. Or the exact opposite. We'll get a level 1 and they'll upgrade it all the way to a level 3. So this is kind of a way for us to tell you to keep an eye on these days as we do get these alerts, but also be very transparent about it with you, the viewers, in order to kind of relay what we are thinking in terms of all of this with these alerts. So as the National Weather Service agrees confidence is less for a storm system or heat or cold, then we'll kind of backtrack it too. And we want to be able to give you the warning ahead of time, but if we have to backtrack it, that's still a pretty good scenario, but obviously going to be very transparent with our thoughts on that.
It's the tropics. I mean, that might be, you know, when we look at, let's say, tropical stuff, that might be one of these things where it's a little bit easier to throw one of these weather impact days out there multiple, you know, many days in advance. We can follow these things a long way out.
It's not one of those things where we're issuing watches and warnings. We're really just sort of giving you an idea of what we're seeing on our end here and saying, hey, watch out for this. This is what we're paying attention to. And the good thing about it is it's giving you several days of notice to kind of get ready for these things and check back in with us as we continue to watch how they develop.
And like with the tropical system and that track, I mean, we see that all the time. It can go one way or the other. And so we're all, again, it's what we're already doing. We're already saying this day, 4 or 5 days out or whatever, is a day we are watching for the possibility of that. And we shift that around anyway. So this just kind of puts it visually, like if you're just walking by a TV or digital, you know, on your device, you'll see that impact alert day and you'll just say, I need to watch that day. And then of course you could, I mean, there's all kinds. We first started doing this, we started thinking about all the different things that could be impactful, and temperature is one of those things. You got your first freeze, you got all that kind of stuff, right? I mean,
absolutely. And you know, like the first freeze is extremely important in Central Georgia because most of our community is made up of farmers.
Right.
You got Peach County, you got Taylor County. That, you know, a lot of our economy is based off the agricultural side, and so with that, the first freeze, you know, we're just really thinking about it because, hey, it's impactful for Central Georgia, and with that, it's going to be impactful for all of us.
And not only that, you're talking about freeze, and we saw this last year, it's the last freeze.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you think, all right, you know, especially like peach farmers, you know, last year, you don't want that, you get in the growing season and have one of these late ones. So that's another day I think we would kind of go an impact alert day for that.
Absolutely. Any alert or any freeze that could potentially harm the crop season for all the farmers, it will be a day that will have extra importance on it.
Well, and having said that, on the other extreme, and we have seen that this year, you know, triple digits, things like that. Now, we can't just go throw that out there every day. It looks like we're going to hit 100. I mean, there are certain criteria still that we have to meet.
Yes, exactly. So when we went through it, it's really the most extreme levels of heat that we can get issued by the National Weather Service or other advisories. But, I mean, obviously, we have hot temperatures not all year round, but still relatively warm temperatures, but a lot of days that are above 100 degrees, a lot of days they're just really uncomfortable to be outside, a lot of muggy weather. So obviously, when all those factors come into a perfect storm, if you will, we're really looking at some dangerous heat that can make it very dangerous to be outside and make heat exhaustion, heat stroke, things like that more susceptible to the common person. So on those days, we definitely want to let you know ahead of time. We're seeing, hey, okay, maybe temperatures are only 100 degrees or so, but we're looking at a lot of moisture to come in from the Atlantic. Yeah. So making it feel a lot more dangerous out there and making you want to drink some water, stay in the shade, or just stay in the AC because sometimes even the shade can be too hot.
Yeah. And also heat is actually the #1 weather-related killer in the United States. So all these weather impact alert days regarding heat are just as important as, say, tropical systems or maybe a robust low-pressure system.
I think, too, we would probably follow a lot of the National Weather Service guidance and a lot of that heat stuff because they have all the calculations for all, like, sensible impact to the body and all that sort of thing. Again, because 101, something like that, we can do that a lot. But you start getting nerd alert, dew points in the 70s way on up there, and you get a heat index of 110 or higher or something like that, and maybe we don't get below 80 degrees at night or something like that. That's when you'll see that kind of thing. So it leads me to, if we're in still the summertime thing, why would we not issue, and this is kind of tricky here, why would we not issue many of these in the summer for storms? And there's a reason for that. I mean, if you look at a thunderstorm on paper, or just the things that it can do, it can gusty winds, heavy rain, lightning, the whole thing in spring and summer. So what's the difference? Well, first of all, spring is our tornado season, our main, you can have it in any time of the year, and then fall's kind of the secondary, but March, April, May are those main 3 months for that for us. And so usually we'll watch these big large-scale systems coming across. We'll know a few days in advance, hey, this is looking kind of rough. And then, of course, that's when we'll see these level 1 through 5 that National Weather Service starts to put out. So we're already tracking that sort of thing, and that's when more people can get involved. It can be what I call an all-skate. Everybody's involved. It can be day or night, and so it's something, school systems are watching and all this. In the summertime, you can still have a storm that has a punch to it. I mean, you can really kick it. You can still have 70-plus mile-an-hour winds and some large hail, but it's generally going to be kind of localized to just this maybe one county or one part of a county or something like that on any given afternoon, or maybe an afternoon where we don't see anything. So as we said in some of our stuff here, we would be chasing our tails.
Absolutely.
Every summer day you would have a weather impact alert day, which would dilute it down to nothing and it would be useless. So we only reserve that for, all right, this is a little more organized than a normal summertime day, or this is something tropical or something like that can get into the mix. So you may not see a ton of those for summer storms. I don't see, which one would we leave out? Oh, I know. The S word, snow. Snow, sleet, who wants that one, huh? I mean, nobody wants to talk about that. Well, that's one of these where I picture it in my head, like how does it look if we're coming up on a snow event? And we always kind of tap dance around that because we're always kind of on the edge of that. North Georgia may see it a little bit more, and we're kind of iffy on the whole snow line. So I think it would have to be something where we're pretty sure that this is likely to happen, and then we still could walk that back, even on that.
And that's where the National Weather Service will come into play. We have to have a lot of agreement and collaboration because, some of the models could say there'll be snow showing up, and then next thing you know, a couple hours before, drier air just comes in and just ruins the entire forecast. So agreement and certainty is extremely important in regards to forecasting snow and issuing a weather impact alert day for those events. Yeah,
and I would point out, you're talking about like everybody getting on the same page, and that with this whole thing, and we've said this before, but we all stay in contact. There's in these kind of events, especially that would be coming up, like especially tropical or whatever it is, there's somebody here 24 hours a day, and we may not see each other a lot because somebody's on different shifts and all that. So it was a running text thread. We're always talking about what'd you see? What was the latest model run? Because we've all seen it, especially with severe weather stuff this past spring, where next model run comes out and it's totally different. And it's changed. You're like, we thought we kind of had this one locked down and then this going better or worse, either way. So there is a lot of thought that's going to go into these kind of days. We're not just going to flippantly throw one out there. And then having said that, and this is the main thing I want to get across, this is not for scare or hype or any of that. I pride us in that that's not who we are. You can find that anywhere on television, in this industry, in media, anywhere. Everybody's trying to get eyeballs and clicks and hype and all that stuff and everything. That is not how we do it here in this weather department. So we're trying to be, reassuring. We're all friends about this. You're our friend. We're your friends, hopefully. And so we're trying to say this is what we're seeing. We're not trying to scare you and trying to say, you must watch this certain day because this is going to be bad. It's just that we're paying attention to it with hopes that as we get closer, it becomes a non-event and we can take that thing off the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about us getting on the same page as a team, it's about all of us getting on the same page and then getting everybody else on the same page too, just saying, hey, this is what we're watching and also this is how transparent we're being about it. This is what we know now. It might change, but it might not, so just pay attention and keep checking in with us.
And it's also more of just a preparation factor. Like we're gonna offer you some help or tips and tricks just to stay aware during that kind of weather, whether it's severe weather, whether it's cold or hot. We have plenty of advice that we've learned through the years in our education that we're definitely going to be able to share with you, and hopefully this will kind of help simplify it all into one space for all you need in terms of how to stay prepared when that severe weather does strike, and also how you can continue to take action ahead of time and be prepared for that when it does strike.
And Ben was talking about this, but if one of us issues a weather impact alert day, it's not just a singular meteorologist.
We've all
it's
talked
the
about it
entire
already.
team.
Yeah.
It is the team issuing a weather impact alert day. So I think that's very important to note.
Well, and that's the way I see it too, because when you see, even, in red, the word alert and stuff like that, bomb, it gets your attention. We're going to reserve that for moments that we really think you really want to pay attention for this. So you may go for a stretch where you don't see these, but if they do pop up, again, it is not for scaring or anything like that. It's just saying, let's keep an eye on it. So then one of the big questions would be, let's say an event happens, and then there's, not that we ever get comments from anybody, but let's just say they say, hey, where was your weather impact alert day on that? I think that would be few and far between that kind of thing would happen. I think where we would probably see that the most would be in summertime, when there could be one or two severe storms on a given afternoon or night that really have some punch to them in a populated area. And then somebody would say, well, where was your impact alert day on that? And once again, it goes back to any afternoon in the summer that could happen. So it's kind of a gray area with that, because I don't think you want to look at a 7-day and see weather impact alert on every day all the way across the whole summer like that. So I think that's where we'd run into that.
I think it's more likely that you'll see us walk something back than miss something that's coming in, because we'll take it seriously when we see that there's something that could be impactful, but if we decide later that it's not looking as dangerous as it initially seemed, then we'll walk it back. So I think that's more likely the case than us missing something.
And I think about it like when we're in severe weather coverage, one thing I always like to do is, as say a line of storms is coming across and it's already left our western counties and our eastern counties, I'll draw a line on the radar and say anything to the west of that, you're in the clear. It's over. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So I'm geared that way, that I would like to walk one of these back and say, we don't see it anymore. Stand down, everything's fine, enjoy your day.
And providing context is extremely important as well in our forecast. Even if we don't have something on the 7-day, just saying, hey, there's a chance for this to occur, I think that's enough, especially for the summertime storms.
Right. We're not changing that. We're still going to be talking about that, hey, any day there could be some storms that could be a little bit strong. So you're still going to hear that language from us, but you may not see, this graphic always popping up on those kind of days.